E1 Youth. We're in the game.
I'd like to welcome each of you, our listeners this evening, and to welcome our guests. Today we are going to be interviewing Mr. Sean Rivera, hope I'm saying that correctly, and Mr. Ian Johnson with E1 Youth. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'd like you to tell our audience a little bit about E1 Youth.
Well, E1 Youth is basically an organization built for the at-risk youth. We're trying to give these kids something to do besides go out in the streets. And it's a two-part organization. One is called D-Divide, and the other is called WGI. D-Divide is basically an organization that's dealing with the computer system, and we're trying to divide the how would you say it?
Well, we're trying to close the digital divide. So there's a lot of people that don't have access to computers at home, a lot of kids that are going to be falling behind in the future if they don't learn how to use computers effectively and all the opportunities that computers can offer. So. And
then the second part is WGI, which is basically it's entrepreneurship. We're going to teach the kids how to take the small businesses that we do every day, landscaping, auto detailing, food, marketing, and basically teach them how to run and operate their own business and show them that they can do a lot more out there besides going to the streets and hustling the way we did. Well, I did, I should say.
That's great. And actually, both will really complement each other because in order to have a business today, you must also know how to use a computer, correct?
Exactly. You got to have that technology. Definitely.
And so when you're saying at-risk youth, is there a particular age range that you're working with?
Well, the age range is 16 to 23, and the reason why 16 to 23 is because 16 is the legal age for the kids to drop out, and we all know that these kids, you got kids that can go to school and actually be a part of the school system, but you got kids that are just as equally smart as the ones that are in there that don't go to school and be a part of the school system. So the ones that's going to choose to go and do something else, we still want to get them a door and an opportunity. That's why we got the GED program too. So any kid that is a part of it that doesn't go to school, they got to be a part of the GED class that the FSU students are going to volunteer from and hopefully, get them on the right track that way too.
And did I understand from you that actually it's a requirement?
It's a requirement
for them to participate in the GED program.
Exactly, yes.
I have to back up a little bit and tell my listeners how I had an opportunity to meet you. I was at Top of the Line Detail on last Saturday, taking my boys to get haircut. They do everything there. Donald, Ivory, the owner, and Aviel, they're all, they're God's successful business partners and have really been active part of our community in terms of giving back. And I think, Sean, we had met before.
Yeah, we met at They Save Sunday one time, and that's how we talked about it. I was telling you about WGI back then.
Yes.
But now at the same time, y'all remember too, E1 Youth new headquarters is at Top of the Line Detail too. So we're right there in that next building. So y'all come and see us down there too, especially spring break coming up. So hopefully everything will be up and running for the kids to come out for spring break that's coming up next week.
Okay, and you mentioned, so Top of the Line Detail is in partnership with you.
A solid partner. It's a part of the founder committee that we're trying to build.
Okay, and then you mentioned the FSU students. Are you a FSU student,
yeah.
Ian?
Right now I'm a master's student in scientific computing. So this is my first year, and we're going to reach out to scientific computing and other FSU volunteers. See, like Sean was starting WGI before we met, I was trying to run D-Divide, and I had pulled together FSU volunteers to host some events, building the computers and teaching the kids how to use them. But now that we're working together, we formed E1 Youth, and it's gotten a lot more effective.
And that's how I've found that God really works. We'll have ideas, and we're working in a sense in our own little box and praying like, Lord, I need some help. And at the same time, God is developing that other person, and when it does come together, it's wonderful. And that's what I see here, this great partnership. What I was really also impressed about is that not only are you teaching the kids to use the computer, but also diagnostic skills.
Absolutely.
Which is just valuable because I always have all kinds of computer problems. So that's great. Tell me, what inspired, and I would like to hear actually from both of you, what inspired you to want to participate in or to found this E1 Youth program? What was your inspiration behind this?
I'm going to let Ian take off on that.
All right. Well, I guess to me, I thought about this a little before that, you might ask this, and I couldn't really come up with one reason, but it just makes sense to me. I guess I've been playing and building computers and programming computers since elementary school, right? I've always loved using them, and I used to play video games. Now I try to make them, and I just feel like there's a lot of kids out there that may not get the chance to even know what's possible, let alone get their hands on it and play and find out opportunities themselves. So I guess my inspiration is that I want to give other kids that don't have that chance that I was lucky enough to have, to be able to experience and use computers the way I have.
That's wonderful. And what about you, Sean? What's your inspiration behind this?
Well, my inspiration behind it is my own personal history. The things that I'm trying to stop the kids from doing, those are the things that I did. Like, I went to prison when I was 16, that's for one. And by me going to prison at 16 and doing 6 years off of 10, and then coming home and seeing what is really out here, I realized that if I don't offer these kids something, it's going to be a lot more that's like me, because I know I'm not a bad person, and there's a lot of kids out there that are not bad.
Right.
It's just that they don't have a chance, and I just want to give them a chance. So my inspiration came from seeing that I got 8 sisters, and I got a whole bunch of nieces and nephews, and I'm the only boy. And if I don't open up a door from somebody or stop that cycle in some type of form or fashion, that's just going to keep going. So that's.
I every time I hear stories like this, I often think of Romans 8:28 that says, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So given your circumstances, Sean, you took a situation where most people would have considered, this may be the end. There's nothing I can do. The system is trying to keep me down, to actually offering opportunities. And on the other hand, you have Ian, who's saying, listen, I've had privileges that I want to now be able to offer to others. And it shows that if we really all work together, and that's the basis of God's successful business, building partnerships for a brighter future. Because I really believe that if we all work together as businesses, as community organizations, as individuals, we really can make a difference. Everyone has something to give. I was so impressed when I walked in to Top of the Line Detail, and by the way, that's located on
1480 Lake Bradford.
1480 Lake Bradford, and it's this bright yellow and red building. But they had all of these computers set up, and what I was so impressed is that you're not just talking about a vision, you're actually investing in it, and you're making it happen. And from what I understand, limited resources.
Yeah, limited. We don't even know limited.
But that's how dreams often happen. It's like, I'm going to make a commitment. I'm going to use the resources that I have and try to get others to participate. So I would like to make an appeal that anyone that is interested in this, we're talking about helping at-risk youth. They're our futures. These are children that we cannot write off. And so you're looking at computer skills, entrepreneur skills, ensuring that they get their GED so that if they want to continue on to higher education. So I think this is just such a wonderful program.
E1 Youth, we're in the game.